All right, I truly do not think anything is working, but we'll figure it out. Let's see how it works. Let's see how it looks, see how it sounds, see what happens. If not, you can't say I didn't try. Let me get some more light on your face. Am I on? Am I not on? Is it better? Is it not better? Let me know. Don't let me know. I don't know. Are we back? Are we back in action? Let me know in the chat. No. I'm going to take that as a no. Chat's not moving, so that's never a good thing. Donuts sounds delicious. Blurry. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Blurry again, for fucking Christ's sakes. For some reason, I think we've got multiple issues going on. For some reason, I think we are having some sort of an internet issue as well, on top of and added onto something going on with the computer. A little blurry and low quality on the video, but don't worry about that. That's because I have these settings down. Oh no, it is. Oh, it's not. You're right. It is 1080. Just go with the blur. Good sound. I think it's bandwidth, so don't worry about your personal camera video quality. Yeah, I don't think it's the camera quality. I wouldn't even know. What do I change? What do I change? It's on the same internet. It's always on. That's the problem. If I go start things, then I change. I mean, would it hurt if I tried hooking back up with the Ethernet? Reset all networks adapters to factory settings. Probably don't want to do that, right? Hardware and connection properties. Don't know what any of that means. Data usage. Looks like Google Drive is carrying some fucking serious weight in that one. I don't know. Play the I don't understand clip. Do I have an I don't understand clip?
This guy's been drunk all day. This guy's been drunk all day. This guy's been drunk all day.
Nothing wants to work. Nothing wants to work.
I'm standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis.
For some reason, it's just nothing. Don't reset. Keep going. A little blurry. Yes, Ethernet, no VPN. Yeah, VPN's off. I can see it right now. It says Nord VPN disconnected. But Norton 360 says I am protected. And these smart security something says I'm protected, and the Windows security says I'm protected. There's so much shit. Hold on. Did you pick up an adapter if you go to Radio Shack? Simply ask Fuck you. Your face is actually lit much better than last time. Well, let me see the Ethernet cables right here. Let me see if I plug that in. What happens? I mean, we can't fuck this up any more than we fucked it up tonight already, right? So we might as well just at least see if we can figure out a fucking, since we're probably not going to get to any clips. Give me a second. And please turn off. And I don't even know how to do. Do you even turn that off? 360. All right, Adam's coaching me. Adam's coaching me. How do I do that? Is there just like a pause or something? Control panel. You are protected. Run smart scan. Add device. I don't know how to alerts. Maybe it's this. Account settings. Christ. Here, Adam, where are you bringing me to? What am I doing here? What am I doing here? All right, let's load another page. Scared to see what this is going to get into. Oh, come on. Everything is so goddamn slow right now. Ridiculous. Come on. Any day now. Any day. I don't see a... It's asking me to sign in. I don't see like a turn off button or like, pause or anything like that. I thought there was like a couple of those buttons I could see here. Settings, general, on create password, troubleshooting app, permissions here. I don't know any of that. Troubleshooting, about, privacy policy, enable, reset all settings. Still having problems? Notifications, general, remote management. Which network proxy settings, configure. I mean, oh, I don't know what I did there. Cancel. It scares me when shit happens. Features. See, I don't know how to shut anything off. That's the problem. Right click Norton icon. Yeah, that's what I did. Nope, just turn off VPN and plug in Ethernet and call it a day for tech. All right, one sec, Adam. One sec. Huh? It made it worse last time. All right, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see if it gets better or worse. You guys let me know. I'll just have to sit and chat. Looks like DSL from the 90s. Oh man. I'm just gonna delete them if it comes down to it. I don't know. All right, it says connected, internet access. How we doing? It's better, same. This is one reason why I hate Wi-Fi. Better, call hell. Yeah. Frank says yes. Vapid man, blurry as fuck. Please disregard video quality when there are better bandwidth problem here. There is nothing you can do about that. Says you're back. Sounds good, still blurry. I don't know. Still says unstable. Connection is unstable. If you're on Wi-Fi, try plugging into your router or moving closer to it. I am plugged into the router. I said, uh-oh, Otis, I'm afraid to go back and see you said what you said. Oh, I see it. Sounds good. Move on. Yeah, as long as it's not disconnecting me, right? All right. Well, that means I'm going to have to pull up all these articles again, just to let you know. We did the. Oh no, let's cover this one. This one's a good time. This one's a good time. See, let's take the short clip though. I don't have to watch the whole thing. I don't want to stretch my luck on this stream. Right, let me pull up this video. Pause it. Pause it so I can show you guys. Present, share screen. Ready? This is where he compares his strikes in Iran on the nuclear sites. I'll just read them. We won't be able to see them. I'm seeing Brian talk shit here on Facebook. It's probably my dad. I am an asshole, but I'm here. Hello. So you don't think I should try risk playing video right now? Which that's tough. That's a tough look to have a stream but not be able to play video. I'm going to try it. If it fucks up, it fucks up. So here we go.
Do you think that the Iranian nuclear program has been put back by these strikes? Years or totally?
I think basically decades, because I don't think they'll ever do it again. I just don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to take their oil. They're going to have some missiles, and they'll have some defense. I think they've had it. I mean, they just went through hell. I think they've had it. The last thing they want to do is enrich. They've been trying to do it. By the way, it's hard to enrich. And, you know, when you look at a site like that, very, very hard to build, very, very hard, very expensive. They spent trillions of dollars trying to do this thing, and they didn't come up with it. And we're actually getting along with them very well right now. But had we not succeeded with that hit ended the war. That hit the war. I don't want to use an example of Hiroshima. I don't want to use an example of Nagasaki. But that was essentially the same thing.
Is that watchable? Audio is good. Video is glitchy. Fucking hell. I don't know what else to do. I'm connected to everything I could possibly be connected to. Yvonne just said, shut up. Oil money. Yeah. Right, I'll go on. I stopped it right at the wrong part.
Ended that war. This ended that with the war. If we didn't take that out, they'd be fighting right now. I don't want to use an example of Hiroshima. I don't want to use an example of Nagasaki. But that was essentially the same thing. That ended that war. This ended that with the war. If we didn't take that out, they'd be fighting right now.
Yeah, they'd be fighting right now. Fighting right now would also be, I don't know, 3 months 3 months more advanced in their program, considering that's what people say. That's what these strikes took out, roughly 3 months. It's funny, though. It really is. All right, let's see. Should we just try to? If I can't, it's probably not going to be great for tonight's stream. That's not going to be great for tonight's stream. Hopefully, it's not all of them. Maybe it's just some of them. So, like, if I try to do this, and I show you guys this, maybe that won't be too bad. Share screen. See how this is doing. Maybe this will be all right. I know this isn't how we planned the stream to go, but, you know, you got to roll with the punches. Roll with the punches. I think we're dealing with some internet difficulties at the moment. We are plugged in, like I said, by Ethernet. The only thing I can do right now is, like, literally stick my finger in the socket of the friggin' router and see if that does any better. But unfortunately, I'm not going to try that. So let's just see if we can get into this. O'Brien, Trump's whole speech is whacked. It is. It is. No, I know, Adam. I hate that that's seemingly the case right now. I wish I could more, because I know how annoying it is to watch streams that are choppy and blurry. It's not what I want to bring to you guys. So hopefully we'll figure that out. Like I said, it's been good the last few shows that I've been here. So hopefully it's just a glitch in the matrix or something like that. I appreciate it. Yeah, restarting the router might work. I'll try that after the show. I'm not going to try that now, but yeah, I will try that, Adam. I appreciate your help on that. You're a plumber. You're like the opposite of an electrician. Yeah. water and electricity, never a good mixture. But yeah, I do my best. Like I said, I think we have everything set up correctly. I really do. I just think we're having some internet difficulties at the moment, like Adam said. But yeah, let's see if we can get into a little bit of this. If you guys tell me that it's not watchable, then we'll see if we can get into a few articles that I have. Everything seems to be going really slow right now, so I don't even know if I should try this. Wes says Facebook is okay, tiny bit of choppiness, but not bad. All right, I tried taking down the settings to 720p as far as the camera is concerned. So maybe, I don't know. I'm hoping that helps. Maybe speed things up just a little bit, or make it look make it look a little bit more, appetizing or appealing, if you will. All right, let's see if we can get into a little bit of this. Sorry about that, guys.
You have this fantasy land that Trump was like, oh, the left thinks Abrego Garcia, I've treated him wrong. I surrender, left.
The only time he has been constrained is through the left and liberals banding together and going through the court system and public pressure. That's it. That's all we've seen.
Is MAGA a fascist movement? Just give me a yes or no.
That's an absurd framing.
You can't say that MAGA is fascist. You can't, wait. You really don't believe MAGA is fascist?
I am against Trump. Totally. Okay? But why do you love Trump will be the next question.
Did I ask that? Jake, talk about a Trump man. I mean, you're making up stuff I never said. Come on.
It's amazing to see right off the bat. Like, you don't even have to know either of these two, but to see how animated and angry and frustrated and on edge Cenk is the whole time. And then when the camera cuts Crystal and she's just like, stoic faced, sitting there like, I know I have the goods. I have the ignition in this. Like, there's really no backing out of this for you because you've said one thing that didn't come to fruition. You said we should do one thing that turned out to be the wrong plan. So at every turn, Cenk is wrong in this, and you can tell he knew he was going to be wrong when he went into this because he was definitely not comfortable. There's a point in this where he, settled down and was having a nice, meaningful, impactful conversation with either Crystal or Kyle. I didn't get through the entire thing, but it sounded to me like Crystal took the first, half hour or so of this. And again, for Cenk Uygur to ask Crystal and Kyle to come on their show, a show which is rising in popularity as opposed to T1, which is falling in popularity. And then, like I said, to do it from some shitty, shady, nondescript fucking motel room, right, with zero lighting whatsoever. And then to tell them that he has a hard out in an hour or two, whatever the fuck he set up, is just pretty fucking unprofessional and pretty fucking ridiculous, if you ask me. You know what I mean? To ask somebody to come on their show and then say, okay, we have this scheduled, but just so you're here, I got a hard out, just in case you're kicking my ass, which did happen. So let's continue.
I'm coming on here if I can't answer your
Jake,
question.
I'm giving you plenty of time to answer, brother. You're making up stuff about me. I didn't say that.
Okay,
so you want to talk about straw men? You're inventing
it's
things
a
on the
mistake
spot.
talking to you guys. It's a mistake.
Welcome, Cenk Uygur, the Young Turk. We appreciate you joining us.
What's up?
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So, you want to explain? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, Cenk reached out to Kyle and I this week and said, hey, I think we got some things to talk through. Can I, let's have a conversation. I said, sure, let's do that. And this kind of follows on the heels of a discussion/debate that you and I had back in December.
That was the one that we covered here on Blunt Politics. I think that was seemingly my first introduction, first real deep dive or introduction to Crystal on that one. And then, like I said, she did in that debate and in this debate a fantastic job dismantling the bullshit of Cenk Uygur, dismantling what he believes is the way forward as far as progressive. He has absolutely no right whatsoever to speak for any progressive or leftist anymore. Not that he ever did, but to, again, carry the name on his channel, the home of progressives, and then to go out there and represent us seemingly in a way that is agreeable to what MAGA is doing, agreeable to some of the worst characters in the MAGA universe, is definitely disrespectful and something that needs to be dismantled and taken apart. And Crystal, Kyle, multiple people on YouTube, people like the Vanguard, guys like the Vanguard, There's a few channels that are not solely dedicated, but that have done a great job in dismantling Cenk and Anna's bullshit in their, the right-wing rise, let's just say.
Where, the launching point, and you can, correct me if you don't think that this is a fair characterization of this conversation, but the launching point was a tweet that you had put out expressing some optimism about the Trump administration. So we can put that tweet up on the screen from Cenk to refresh everybody's memory about where we started. So you said, in November 29th, 2024, I've been trying to figure out why I'm more optimistic now than I was before the election. Even though I was so against the guy who won, I know now MAGA is not my mortal enemy, neither is the extreme left. My mortal enemy is the establishment, and they have been defeated. So over the course of that conversation...
I mean, what a ridiculous statement to think that because Donald Trump won a second term after he had been president already, and the people that were surrounding him, the people that were already, involved in his first administration, to think that they had somehow defeated the establishment was outrageous to begin with, right? And then to come out and say, that they're not the mortal enemy. This was just like a fraction of a piece of the entire puzzle, the entire picture that is Cenk Uyghur's slide towards, MAGA cucking and taint licking and boot licking for, again, some of those people on the internet, some of the worst people involved in politics.
You explained to me that the reason you felt optimistic was really two reasons. Number one, as you say there, the establishment was defeated. And number two, you felt
how ridiculous is this? I mean, check this out, guys. How dumb does this look? Like, look at Cenk. Could he be any darker? Like, could that be I know my setup is having some issues right now as far as the internet is concerned. So I probably, shouldn't be stones living in a glass house. But good God, is this just, I mean, what a just zero effort, right? Just zero fucking effort put into this by Cenk. Zero.
That the elements of the populist right and the bros would hold Trump accountable. And it kind of built to this crescendo where he actually turned to the camera and said, listen, guys, in a little while, you're going to be able to say whether I was right or whether Crystal was right. Let's go ahead and play that portion as a refresher. That is element number 2.
I want to.
I love this. I love and just the fact that they're like, okay, Cenk, you're going to sit there as we play the words that you said just several months before on this exact program when you looked dead in the camera and said, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, and I will raise my hand and say I'm wrong, or something to that effect, right? Paraphrasing, of course. But it's just great that they're just like, all right, fuck it. I know he'll be sitting there and he'll have to watch this or either be silent while we add it in afterwards. So yeah, fuck it. We'll make him sit there in silence.
Something to the
Yeah,
audience. Can I?
sure.
Is this my camera here? Okay, yeah. So right-wing populists, it is now your job to prove Crystal wrong.
Go out and do it, y'all.
So she doesn't believe you. And by the way,
this was his big moment. This was his big moment. Where's my camera? Where's my camera? Okay, this is camera A. Camera A's on me. Okay, this is his big look in the camera, risk it all type of moment, right? Where he says, either what he calls right-wing populists are going to prove Crystal wrong, or they're going to prove Cenk wrong, right? And this is when Cenk was talking about, being so happy that they were, there was mutterings about, taking down the spending at the Pentagon, right? We've seen how that turned out with our first $1 trillion defense budget, right? Thank you, Josh. Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate you guys. I know it's tough sitting through a stream that has internet issues, and I don't blame you for not liking it. And I appreciate those that are sticking around. My apologies. Hopefully the quality will improve. I think it's just something that something might be working its way through the area. So hopefully it goes away at some point. But thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you, Josh, for the contribution as well, bud.
No one on the left other than me and Anna believe you guys that you actually want to cut the Pentagon and that you could pressure Elon Musk and Donald Trump to cut the Pentagon.
Nobody besides me and Anna believe that you guys want to cut the budget at the Pentagon, right? Again, what happened since then? Our first $1 trillion defense budget.
So are you going to prove the left wrong, or are you going to prove them spectacularly right? Am I going to have to come on here and apologize to Crystal for ever believing in any right-wing populist and say, I was a sucker. Those guys were liars. All they want to do was...
Yes, that's exactly what you should be doing. That's exactly what you have to do. But that's exactly what you did not do.
Increase the Pentagon, have more wars, more corruption, and they never held Trump accountable. We waited 4 long years for them to hold him accountable, and all they did was kiss his ass and show that they don't really believe in freedom. They said all this stuff about freedom, but they never meant it. They said all this stuff about drain the swamp, but they never meant it.
Correct. All of this is correct. What he said in the last 4 or 5 seconds, that all of that is correct.
They said all this anti-war stuff, but they never meant it.
Anti-war stuff. How did that pan out, guys? How is that panned out so far as Donald Trump being the anti-war president or MAGA being upset? Have you seen anybody revolting? Has he not seen Charlie Kirk call for Donald Trump to get the Nobel Peace Prize? Has he not seen people like Steve Bannon, come out and totally do a 180 on his stance that going to war with Iran is a bad thing, or strikes inside Iran is a bad thing? He's done a 180. We've seen Marjorie Taylor Greene. Somehow I don't see her name on the the anti-war bill there that people were signing on to. That it was Thomas Massey, I believe, was the one Republican on there. Even after Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was hosted by Cenk Uygur on TYT, and then bolstered her opinion, bolstered her status, bolstered her rhetoric, saying that she was going to be upset with the dear leader if he was to go to war with Iran, if he was to strike inside Iran. But I haven't heard much from Marjorie Taylor Greene in way of her departing MAGA, of her, leaving the cult that is MAGA. I haven't heard much of that. Have you guys heard anything on that? No, I haven't heard anything on that.
We're going to come back on here in 1 year, 2 years, 4 years, and we're going to keep doing a check.
So, Cenk, that was kind of the context of that discussion. And just for the audience and for you, since there's 2 of us and 1 of you, and we don't want to be like jumping on all over each other, and maybe Kyle and I have disagreements on things, I thought I would kind of handle the first 30 minutes more or less. Kyle would handle the second 30 minutes. You've got a engagement you've got to go to. Hard out in an hour. So that's
hard out in an hour. Please let me be on your broadcast. Let me do it from the the Microtel 6. And then, sorry, I got to be out of here in an hour, just to let you know. So can we get this done, even though I asked you to be on your show?
The amount of time
we
that
could
we
do this
have.
for 4 hours if we
had the time. Well, we had maybe somebody on the other side of the camera that was willing to have a debate for that long, but apparently he's got a hard out. Apparently the lights in his hotel room had a hard out 10 minutes ago.
Sure, I'm sure we could, and it would be painful for all involved. But in any case, we've got a hard out for Cenk in 1 hour. We want to be very respectful of his time. So with everything that's happened in Trump 2.0, do you still feel that original optimism that you expressed at the time, do you still feel that was well-founded?
Absolutely. And part of the reason I wanted to come on is to see.
And this is the problem. This is the friggin' problem. If he was to come on here and be like, listen, Crystal, you just played my exact words. You just played what I said. None of that has come to fruition. I was wrong about the Pentagon budget. I was wrong about MAGA being anti-war and getting upset with Trump if he was to go, bombing Iran or bombing fucking the Yemenis or wherever he's already fucking thrown up missiles at, right? They're not getting upset with him on that. They're not getting upset with him with anything else because he's the Fuhrer. It's a cult, and what he says goes. And no matter what they've said before, no matter what strong language they came out with, no matter what, the feisty rhetoric they had in their pockets or videos have made, it doesn't matter because they flip like pancakes. It does not matter what they've said before. We played on the last show Charlie Kirk's words, where it would have been catastrophic for the United States to go to war with Iran just a month or 2 ago. And now he's calling for the fucking Nobel Peace Prize to be awarded to Donald Trump because he struck nuclear sites inside Iran. I mean, no, I think they're saying hard out, not hard on, just to get that clear.
Guys are on planet Earth or live in an alternate reality.
And he's a prick. Like, he can't even show up and be a fucking reasonable, respectful human being. This is what happens. He wants to go out and have a fucking beer with Charlie Kirk. He wants to go have a fucking beer with Steve Bannon. He wants to make fucking nice and kiss with Marjorie Taylor Greene. But he won't talk to Sam Cedar. He goes on and he's completely combative and disrespectful to people like Crystal and Kyle. He refuses to talk to fucking other people on the left. All he does is demean and shit on and yell and scream and get frustrated with people he calls leftists or progressives. But when he's in the presence of somebody in MAGA, when he's in the presence of somebody on the right that has a huge platform, he then decides to all of a sudden, make sure he's a nice guy and listen to what they have to say and make sure they can reach out and reach across the aisle and this bullshit and that bullshit. But again, when he comes on to somebody that's supposed to be an ally, the show of somebody that's rising in his same political hemisphere, and we're supposed to be working together and figuring out ways to do things. No, he's completely combative. He's 100% fucking arrogant, egotistical, unable to admit he's wrong. He's got the Donald Trump fucking complex going on where he just cannot raise his right hand and say, yes, I fucked up. I put myself out there for these people. They're obviously not taking the fucking bait. They're not able to be reached. A cult is a cult and there will always be a cult. You just can't do that, and that's the problem. If he would have come on there, raise his right, admit defeat, admit he was wrong, he would probably get a lot more fucking sympathy from not only the people in the audience here, but the people that watch these videos around the internet.
Absolutely, and I'm part of the reason I wanted to come on is to see if you guys are on planet Earth or live in an alternate reality.
See that condescending, like, I just want to come on here to see if you're living on planet Earth or if you're like living in an alternate universe. Because if you're not believing what I say or repeating what I say, you must be living in an alternate universe. Like, the guy's just a fucking douche.
So, and I'm not trying to be insulting. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm being genuine about it.
Yeah.
And so
he's being genuinely insulting.
And Chris, I went back and watched our conversation then, and yeah, you kept saying like things against Trump, and that's why I didn't even think it was a debate; it was a discussion, because I was like, yeah, I totally agree with you on Trump and the Republicans, etc. I was talking about the populist right and the independents that voted for Trump, the actual voters, and you saw it in that clip. I don't address Trump. I don't address any Republicans. I address the voters. So what has happened since then? Joe Rogan has come out.
He uses Joe Rogan. I forgot. He uses Joe Rogan as his example, because Joe Rogan is a shining light of somebody that has come out strongly and staunchly against Donald Trump in the MAGA movement. Of course, as you've all seen his videos, I must have missed those ones. I know he had maybe a 5 or 7 minute segment on one of his shows where he kind of went against what happened to Abrego Garcia. But other than that, I haven't seen too much in the way of Joe Rogan. As a matter of fact, I know he had on, the CEO of Facebook, Zuckerberg. He's had on a few other billionaires on his show to try to rehab their image, their public image. So I don't think he's done much in the way of what you think, Jack. I don't think Joe Rogan is the shining example that you should be throwing out there, to tell you the truth.
Out against what Trump has done with Mahmoud Halil, with Abrego Garcia. Almost all of the MAGA hosts have come out against the war, ranging from Tucker Carlson, Steve Bannon. Then you've got the politicians like Marjorie.
Again, listen, Tucker Carlson came out against Ted Cruz, was talking about Donald Trump, ended up having to call Donald Trump and apologize after Donald Trump ripped him and said, oh, you should get a friggin' a television show or a network or whatever the frick he said, right? Tucker Carlson ended up calling him to apologize and say he went too far. Steve Bannon, again, done a complete 180, saying, oh, you know what, if it's just this one strike, as long as it's going to be this, contained into this one little thing, then I'm fine with it. Charlie Kirk, as he said, went from this is going to be a catastrophic event, no striking inside of Iran would be ridiculous, to give this guy the Nobel Peace Prize for doing exactly what I said would be catastrophic a month ago. So his examples are shit. And the fact that he doesn't understand this, and the fact that he's still bringing these people up as examples, just goes to show how out of touch with the actual realities of today's situation he is.
Taylor Green, you've got Tim Dillon, you've got, I'm not sure you can name a
Tim Dillon. I know popular, but I don't know how influential really he is inside the movement. Right. So to throw him in there, I don't know if that really adds to your case there, Jack.
Right-wing MAGA host or independent host that's for the war in Iran. So I'm genuinely curious, like, are you guys not seeing that, or does that somehow.
Oh, Nazi. It's funny that you said Nazi because it seems to be the Nazis that you.
I'm standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis.
While Cenk Uygur
Fucking
cuddled up
Nazis.
next to them. It's a shame. It really is. It's a shame. It's a shame.
Magically not count.
So, Cenk, I have the same question as to whether or not you're on planet Earth. Because, first of all, let me ask you this question. Do you think that Trump 2.0 is better or worse than Trump 1.0?
Trump is irrelevant.
No, he's not irrelevant because I'll tell you why. Here's why. You expressed optimism about how all this would go. And the reason you were optimistic is because, hold on. No, we just saw your tweet, okay? The reason you were optimistic
I can explain the tweet.
is because you thought these various groups and influencers would hold him accountable. So did they constrain?
That's correct. That is just a correct assessment. That is what he thought. He thought he was putting himself out there, right? Put himself out on the ledge, thinking that MAGA was going to hold him up and defend him and go against what Donald Trump was going to do. That's what he thought was going to happen. It didn't happen.
His behavior, for example, when Elon Musk was running around with a chainsaw, slashing Social Security and gutting the federal government and gutting the CFPB. No, we didn't. In fact, we saw Joe Rogan host Elon Musk, not to mention Mark Zuckerberg and Mark Andreessen, to make the case for those things, okay? No accountability there. Did we see them constrain his behavior and hold him accountable when he launched a crypto shitcoin, the most corrupt scheme in American history, most likely? No, he did it. He's faced no accountability for that. You mentioned some dissent from Rogan on the kidnapping of college students off of college campuses. Is it the right that organized in opposition to that? No, it's the left and it's liberals. The only time that Trump's actions have been constrained at all in this Trump 2.0 era, which is vastly worse than I even expected when you and I had that conversation. I mean, we've got men in 100 people in a concentration camp. I didn't see any accountability from the right on that. I don't see any accountability that is right now under invasion by our own troops, Marines on the ground in the city of LA. No, I don't see any accountability there. I see an administration that, as I predicted, the guardrails are completely off. And the only places where he has been constrained at all is when the left and liberals organized against Elon Musk, Tesla protests, showing up at town halls, etc., made him toxic. He had to be turfed out of the administration. And
it's just, there's no argument. There's no arguing with that assessment, right? No arguing with that assessment. And again, put whatever you think about her politics, whatever you think about what she said or done in the past, whatever views she held in the past, taking this segment, taking this debate as it is, standing alone, you cannot deny that assessment that it was the pressure put on by progressives, by the left, by the protests, by the anti-Wisconsin rallies, by the money put into the Wisconsin Supreme Court race against Elon Musk, that ultimately made him unviable, that made him toxic, that made it so he couldn't be around the White House because his business was hurting so badly. Because he was not only hurting his businesses so badly, but he was also hurting the reputation of the White House, Trump, and the administration, right? So it wasn't anything. MAGA didn't hold him accountable. Donald Trump didn't hold him accountable. Steve Bannon wasn't the one that held him accountable. It was the protest. It was the protests of the Tesla dealerships. It was the protest against him in his funding and donations to Donald Trump. It was the protest against the money that he put into the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. All of these things, that's what came together to make him so unpopular, so untouchable, so fucking toxic that even Donald Trump couldn't keep the guy around.
In the context of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, when you had mass left liberal resistance, even pushing Democratic leaders who were lame and weak to do something.
And look at Cenk's response to it. You see his he's got a fucking a physical response, a physical reaction to what he believes is just utter nonsense coming out of Crystal's mouth. When we in the chat here, reasonable people in the universe can see that that's exactly what the fuck happened.
Mass left liberal resistance, even pushing Democratic leaders who
see
were
that,
lame.
See his reaction there? Oh no, it wasn't the liberals. Liberals didn't do anything. Progressives didn't do anything. Like he's all automatically and right off the bat trying to downplay the effectiveness that liberals and progressives and people on the left had by speaking up against Elon Musk and protesting his companies.
And weak to do something. Chris Van Hollen goes down to El Salvador, and the administration did something they did not want to do, which was to bring him back. That is the only time This administration has been constrained. It has had nothing to do with the right, had everything to do with liberals and the left organizing against him.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's
hilarious. What a pompous prick. That's hilarious. No, that's pretty much what happened. I know it's a lot. Somebody said our deaths in the comments said it's a lot deeper than that. And I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is a lot deeper than that. But what was the news covering? What was the coverage of what was going on? It was the protest. It was the drop in stock of Tesla. It was the negative impacts that Elon was having on Trump and his administration. It was the fact that he got his ass kicked in the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. I mean, all of these things definitely had a huge impact on his, eventual downfall and his eventual, parting ways with Donald Trump.
You asked about 12 questions. I would love the time to answer it, but you didn't actually answer my question. Do you see a massive MAGA revolt against the war? And I'm being genuine. It's a literal question. Or do you just not see it?
Jake, here's...
I not see it. I mean, I don't see a huge MAGA revolt against the war. Do you guys see that? Am I like, I'm somebody that's perpetually online, somebody that's always watching the news, YouTube, fucking all these other things, right? I have yet to see this collection of MAGA commentators, of right-wing commentators coming out strongly against the war, strongly against the bombing, strongly against entering what's going on in the Middle East. I haven't seen it. I think it's because it doesn't exist. So Cenk is the one living in fantasy land, la la land, not living in reality, like he so flippantly came on to say about Crystal and Kyle.
Here's what I can tell you. Okay, Charlie Kirk, your buddy. He has already.
Not my buddy.
He has
Crystal,
already gone. He has already gone.
Oh, he's so offended. He's such a little baby. He's so offended that Crystal said he was his friend because, if we all remember correctly, he was the one that I believe Cenk said he wanted to go have a beer with, or would go have a beer with after having a talk or a chat or whatever the hell, right? So it's a good little jab by Crystal, and you can see, again, the physical and emotional response from Cenk, because he knows it makes him look bad. He knows this whole go have a beer with MAGA line is really resonating and sticking with him, especially with the people that continuously do coverage and videos of his downfall, his hypocrisy, his flagrant grifting to the right. So he does not like that one bit, which makes me love it even more. Look at his physical and emotional reaction he has to this.
Charlie Kirk, your buddy. He has already.
Not my buddy.
He has
Crystal,
already gone.
Crystal, don't say that. Don't say that, Crystal. Crystal, that's not right. Don't say that. Please don't say that, Crystal. I don't like that, Crystal. That's not right, Crystal. He's such a little high school boy.
Thing to say.
He's already gone from being critical of the Iran war to, guess what? He got a call from the White House. And now what's he saying? Oh, I trust Trump. Trump is the man for this moment. I know he's going to make the right decision.
Even further than that, Crystal. He's even gone a step further as to say that Donald Trump should get the Nobel Peace Prize. Have you not heard? So even a step further.
Steve Bannon.
Can I give the exact quote?
Yeah.
This is from Charlie Kirk. Quote, "We must trust Trump in this situation." Go ahead with Steve Bannon.
Steve Bannon, hold on, Steve Bannon, put up element number 4. This is the Financial Times today. Steve Bannon says, if the president, as commander-in-chief, makes a decision to do this, the MAGA movement, the Marjorie Taylor Greens, the Matt Gaetzes, we will fight it up till the end. But if he has more intelligence and makes that case to the American people, the MAGA movement will support President Trump.
That's literally the defense, the thing that takes Cenk's, I don't know if you want to call it a policy or what he thinks what direction he's moving in as far as trying to coddle up to MAGA. Like, this totally demolishes his case in this. Just that one thing. Like, I know we said we were gonna, we didn't want him to fight, and I know we said it was gonna be this, and we've talked about how it would be ridiculous of him to attack Iran and to get involved, but now that he's done it, I guess, more intelligence is coming out, and we'll probably, be told that we should believe in what he's doing. And in the end, the MAGA movement will support President Trump no matter what. So this is the one thing that literally Cenk should read and be like, you know what? You're right. You know what? It's not worth my time. What I should be doing is getting out there and making the case for more progressives, more lefties, people in to get into politics, making sure we're taking down money in politics. But of course, Cenk, as we know, has been heavily involved in fighting the labor movement inside of TYT. He's taken money from people like Jeffrey Katzenberg. He's now streaming live from Polymarket Studios. Who Polymarket is, I believe, it's not even legal to use in the United States, and has shady benefactors and people that run that company as well. So there's a long list, a list that we can pull from. That goes to prove Jenko's has a lot of things that go against what he seemingly comes out as his progressive lefty views and policies. You know what I mean?
When Trump says that he gets to define what America first is, he's right about that. And so when you have Bannon, who also was critical of Elon Musk originally and got a call from the White House and said, cut it out, and he bent the knee, these people time and time again, Cenk, all they do is ultimately when Trump makes a decision, they bend the knee. We are already far enough into this administration to know there has been no constraint on his action that has come from the right, none. And we're in a war with Iran. We are already in a war with Iran. They didn't constrain him here. He's doing whatever the hell he wants to do.
Okay. So you guys just spoke for like 8 minutes doing a straw man. Okay. So you make
again cannot just respond to what she's saying in a professional adult fashion. Just cannot find it in himself to do it. He is so emotionally triggered and so fucking just outraged by the fact that they would pull up what he said in his own words on the last time he was on this show. Brian needs to hear the story. You talking about how you wasted their time? Shoot me an email, Bicycle Mike. Shoot me an email. Give me a little rundown of what happened. I'd love to hear it. Yeah, let's continue with this. But I mean, it's just the fact that he cannot just for 1 second be an adult commentator. He's been in this business for so fucking long, and he cannot just pull it together for 1 second to talk to what is supposed to be a colleague of his.
Make it sound, and this is what's so harmful. You guys make it sound like I'm pro-Trump, and I think that MAGA is just a bunch of angels who are secretly left-wing, and they're going to magically agree with us on every issue. And the minute that Trump does something wrong, they're going to all push back 100%. And that's what I believed. I believed in rainbows and unicorns. Of course not, Crystal. Of course not. Well, you're trying to move them. Moving the other side is super hard. And so when you see anything where they actually agree with us, you have to encourage that. So when you say all the things
so what he's saying is if somehow you find a point of agreement with somebody that's involved with MAGA, somebody in the cult, right? That means you should just totally forget all of their other racist, bigoted, homophobic, Islamophobic views that they hold and espouse, and just kind of dig down and focus on that one thing. Which I believe is horseshit, which is what he tried to do to Marjorie Taylor Greene when he brought her on TYT and tried to figure out what some point of agreements that they had, and then totally let her off the hook and didn't question her, wasn't combative at all. Like, he's 10 times more combative right now to Crystal and Kyle than he ever was with Marjorie Taylor Greene. And that just tells you a lot right there.
You said, is Trump a bad guy? Of course. So if you're listening out here, guys,
Yeah, of course, Adam, of course. Yeah, Boston Brian, mtn@gmail.com. I appreciate it. There's actually, let me show. I might as well, since we're jumping around, right? Since the internet is behaving at the moment. And Mel said that she refreshed on YouTube and it seems to be a million times better. So if you guys are having still some glitchiness or audio issues, try to refresh or hop out of YouTube and hop back in. But yeah, this is from Ali Osher. Let me see if I can share this to you guys. Just a couple of the memes that he sent me. He's mentally ill. He's a mentally ill idiot, and nobody in mainstream media is saying anything about it. And instead, they're behaving as if this is normal. This is not normal. We are all in danger. I don't see anything wrong with that one. Let's see, how can I do this? I'm going to have to go back to this, and then I have to go back to this, and then we'll open this one. This is another one that Alyosha sent me. All this talk about lowering cost and reducing waste is absolute BS. They're stealing your data to help their companies. They're taking away their healthcare and food assistance to fund tax cuts for billionaires. Their agenda is pro-disinformation, pro-obstruction, and pro-greed, and pro-exploitation. That is from our friend of the show, Jasmine Crockett. Let's see, I'm going to have to go back to this one. I'm just trying to avoid showing everything that's in my email. And here's another one. This is Pennsylvania Senator State Republican Scott Wagner. He just said that Earth is warming because the Earth moves closer to the sun every year. You know, the rotation of the Earth. Also, we have more people and humans have warm bodies, so heat is coming off them. America, this is why we need science education. Yes. Oh, it's amazing how stupid people make it so high into the ranks of our government and other, other agencies and corporations. It really is. It's amazing. But thank you, Alyosha. I appreciate that. And thank you, Yvonne. Yvonne sent me this. Let me see if I can. I know we're kind of hopping around a little bit, but let me see if I can open this. Yvonne doesn't take so much time out of her day to send me clips, so it's only right if I at least play a little bit. She was about Putin hitting the passenger train with a North Korean missile. Let me share this instead. Put this over here. I only got a couple more minutes. I know I'm delayed, and I know the internet was being wonky earlier, and I do apologize about that. But let me see here. We'll go back to we'll go back to a little bit of this, but I just wanted to play. I'll even speed this up a little bit. Playback speed. Let's do 1.3. We'll do a 1.3. Let's see here.
With our, kind of quasi-Ukraine correspondent, Kalen Robertson, who you should be following on his platforms. And he's coming at us live here from one of the train stations in Ukraine that got hit by a Russian missile. Was it earlier today or overnight? Tell us about it.
So it was earlier today. It wasn't this station, but these trains go to that station. The station was Dnipro, which is kind of the second biggest station in Ukraine. And over 10 people have already been confirmed killed now. And it was extremely dramatic. I mean, these trains are iconic in Ukraine. And, this is where diplomats, ambassadors,
But peace, guys. You guys are hearing about this peace that we're having abroad that Donald Trump has been writing about on his Truth Social. You're hearing about this peace. The president of peace, the anti-war president, the guy that was going to sit down Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky in rooms and get this done in 24 hours. Haven't heard much about this on the news, have you? Haven't heard much about this on the news, have you? Yep. This is, as expected, been on the back burners because of what's been going on between Israel, Iran, and the United States. But this is something that we need to keep in the focus, keep in the eyes and ears and minds of the United States citizens and people all over the world, because it has not stopped. Just because you're not hearing about it in the news as much does not mean that Vladimir Putin is not still unleashing hell in Ukrainian cities, does not still mean that Ukrainian citizens are dying. So yeah, it's ridiculous to me to have the president Donald Trump on Truth Social writing about how peaceful and loving and how much prosperity and is flowing around right now. It's fucking ridiculous.
These are the trains that Biden came in on Rail Force One, and the Russians put a missile into one of them today. And it's harrowing if you look at the footage. It's people in the sleeping compartments. If you look at all the hallways, they're covered in blood. All the windows are all destroyed. And it's just a pattern. Russia has been doing this the last 10 days, way more than they have probably in the last 6 months to a year. They hit a maternity hospital in Odessa. They hit a residential building here in Kyiv 2 nights ago that killed 10 people. And every single night they've been putting 300 or 400 drones into Ukraine. When Trump took office, that was around 200 drones a night. So it's twice as bad now from when Trump took office. That's how quickly it's deteriorating.
I want to talk about kind of that uptick in assaults onto Ukraine over the last 10 days, but just really quick on the train attack. And it's kind of amazing to me that the trains are still going. It looks like people behind you are getting on the train that hasn't shut down.
This train is about to leave in the next couple of minutes, but this station has been just as busy as it normally is today, going to stations all across Ukraine. And people look slightly more nervous, but in Ukraine, people are used to this, so they just carry on.
I mean, it's crazy because it goes along with what we saw on the aid mission of people just carrying on with their lives. Because what else are you going to do? But yeah, do not let it slip be in the background. Do not let this slip your minds and vanish from the headlines, because it's still happening. It's still going on. Donald Trump still hasn't, made this any better. As we've just heard, it's actually doubled in terms of how many drones are being launched into Ukrainian cities by Vladimir Putin. On top of Israel, Palestine, on top of Israel, Iran, on top of United States, Iran, Israel, we have still to worry about several other situations going on around the world, and this includes very much so what Vladimir Putin is still doing to the country of Ukraine. So let's keep it on the forefront. Let's keep this on the minds. And again, like I said, in the coming days and coming weeks, we're going to have some of the guests, some of the fine people that were joining me or did join me on the trip to Europe, trip to Ukraine, and the aid mission. So we'll be getting more into that. I do apologize that it's taken so long, but again, with a cross-country move right after I got back, it didn't really set it up so I could get things out and prepared and, make videos and get everything out right when I got back. So it was kind of a hindrance. So I appreciate you guys and your patience on that. But like I said, we are going to have some fantastic people that are going to share some fantastic stories that have unbelievable backgrounds. Whether it be in journalism, whether it be military intelligence, whether it be, like I said, Capitol police officers, whether it be musicians, people from all walks of life, all coming together for a good cause. And again, that's what you guys in the chat are here for. So thank you, Yvonne, for sending that to me. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to go for like 10 more minutes. I know you guys were gypped of a few minutes of the stream tonight, so I'll make up for it for just a few more minutes of this Kyle and Crystal debate here. I apologize again for tonight's internet connection issues. Hopefully we've gotten that resolved. I think it might have just been a little glitch, a little bug in the system, because again, everything was kind of all right on this end. It was just kind of being wonky on the Wi-Fi end. So I do appreciate you guys sticking with me. Make sure you hit the like button, share the stream, because we've had to start a new one. And yeah, make sure you guys, if you're in any way possible, donating, becoming channel members right below me would be fantastic. There's a button, right underneath me, I should say. There's a button. You can take a picture of the Venmo or the PayPal that are interchanging up in the corner of the screen. And you can also check out patreon.com. We have some Zooms coming up. When is the next Zoom, Mel? I believe the VIP Zoom is the 29th, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I can get the exact date. I know I have it on the screen behind me, but I'm afraid to touch it. I believe it's the 29th. If not, remind me in the chat, please. June, yeah, like I said, the 26th. Like I said, the 26th. Thank you, Tiff. Appreciate it. VIP Zoom, June 26th. Come hang out, laugh, meet some fellow lobsters. I appreciate you guys. I know, Mel, I got it wrong. My apologies. We got it right, though. June 26th. If you sign up before then, you're automatically eligible to hop into the Zoom chat that we have, just a little more intimate face-to-face. Sit down. Like I said, it doesn't have to be anything political. Tomorrow.
And July is the 15th and 29th.
Okay, and July is the 15th and 29th, and I shall do my job right now because Mel said she uploaded them to the drive. So let me just see if I can find those real quick. Let me see. I don't. Oh, I do see them. I do see them. My apologies. Thank you, Tiff. Thank you, Mel. I appreciate you guys. I honestly wouldn't know what to do without you. Let me see. They just uploaded now. Take this down. Oh, thank you, Just Julie. Look at Just Julie. And thank you, Big Steph fan. I appreciate you. Much love from a blue dot in Texas. Let's go, Just Julie. Get into them Buckies. Let me see here. Here we go. This is the July. So tomorrow is the VIP Zoom for this month. Next month, our Zooms are going to be July 15th, and the 29th is going to be the VIP Zoom. Again, sign up before any of these dates for as low as $5 a month, and you're automatically eligible to get the link for the Zoom. So hop on in, come on in, share your life experiences. Let me see your pets, that type of stuff. You know what I'm talking about. But I appreciate you guys. Just want to make sure I get that in before I finish.
the framing of all of this is totally wrong. Like, we're having a conversation. Oh, do you think Trump's a bad? Of course I think Trump's a bad guy. He's totally authoritarian. That's why I voted against him. That's why I worked so hard against him. So even the framing makes me like sound defensive when you guys started with a premise that's out in la-la land. We totally oppose Trump. So now the second part of the premise that's totally wrong is, do I think that MAGA is going to revolt on every issue against Trump from day one? Why? Why would they? They love Trump. Of course not. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking for, is there one or two issues where there is actual agreement? And can we take that agreement and do something interesting to restrain Trump in those issues? So when you talk about immigration.
So when has that worked?
Okay, hold on. Well, we're in the middle of it right now. So I'll tell
we're
you
at war with Iran, Cenk. Hate to break it to you. We're at war with Iran. It didn't work.
Okay. So Crystal, let me finish. So when you talk about immigration and all the things that he's terrible on, I know what MAGA is movable on or not. I talk about it on the Young Turks all the time. If you think you're going to move them on immigration, you are nuts. They're not going to move an inch on immigration. So I fight him tooth and nail on that dungeon in El Salvador that they're sending people to, the Marines in the streets. Now, there's some issues like immigration where they haven't moved an inch and they never will move an inch, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's some issues like the Marines in the streets where a smattering of them were like, this is a little uncomfortable. It feels a little uncomfortable.
I didn't see much of that. I actually saw them cheering that on. I actually saw them actually be more excited about the Marines being sent into the streets of Los Angeles. I didn't see anything about them being like, tiptoeing around the subject. I saw them being absolutely fucking pumped up and excited about it.
Constitutional, doesn't feel quite right. Those libertarian wing, remember guys, this is super important. There's 77 million people that voted for Trump, right? If you treat them all the same, you will not be able to win elections. Why is winning elections important? Because that is how you take power away from Trump, away from the Republicans. So if you treat all 77 million as hardcore MAGA, you're going to push them away and they're going to vote against you. You can say, oh, no, but it makes me feel better.
There's a difference between treating all 70-something million as MAGA and then just not dipping yourself or running headfirst into the cult to try to get the most hardcore of them in there onto your side. The point is to try to pick them off the fringes, right? And by doing that, and how you do that is to show them that your policies, right, the side that you're on, your fucking side of the political party, has better policies that will improve their lives, that will allow them to get better health care and better paying jobs, right? And to work for unions that will be able to protect them. Like that's how we peel off the people that are on the fringes, right? You don't just go into the center of this fucking hornet's nest and try to get the queen right off the bat, because that's how you get smirked real quick. That's how you get really murked right there.
I have emotional release and my audience likes me more because I seem like I'm tougher on Trump. I was so mean to him. Yeah, but did that persuade anybody? I called all of his voters fascists. Yes, but did that persuade anyone? You're trying to persuade the people in the middle to come to your side. So what are the issues where we've got a fighter's chance? War. Okay, so now, do I think that on day one, they were all going to flip and then act and be successful in stopping all of the establishment, all the neocons? And by the way, were we successful? We were not successful in stopping any of them during Biden or any other Democratic administration either, right? So now there's a giant full-blown revolt from MAGA against this war. Now, if you were saying, no, I don't see Tucker Carlson, Bannon, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Posobiec, Cernovich, Candace Owens, et cetera, all of them opposed to the war. But you might not, because a lot of people watch programming that honestly just kind of gives them a misleading sense of what's happening.
Did you see Tucker, Trump saying, Tucker called me to apologize. He said he went too far. Did you see Steve Bannon saying, we're all going to fall in line ultimately? So
his argument crumbles at the first sign of defense. Like at the first sign they see of any roadblock or impediment, like it just completely crumbles, because the people that he's leaning upon are the same people that have now come out and said they will follow Donald Trump to the ends of the earth, regardless of what he does and how dangerous it is for this country.
I'm not talking about, hold on. Yeah. I'm not talking about the however many million Americans voted for Trump, some of whom are hardcore MAGA, and you will never move them. And I guarantee you, the moment that Trump says this is the policy, they're going to say, you're right, sir, this is the policy, this is brilliant, and I am on board. Are there independents that can be moved? Yes. There are two separate questions here. Okay. Number one is, we are in hell right now. Like, the level of damage that has been done to this country, done to the world from Trump 2.0 already is astounding. So the number one thing is triage, right? How do we stop? How do we stop as much damage as we can? And the track record thus far in the Trump administration is the only time he has been constrained is through the left and liberals banding together and going through the court system and public pressure. That's it. That's all we've seen in this administration.
He is a little child. A little child. Check out that reaction. Check out that reaction. Holy shit.
Is the only time he has been constrained is through the left and liberals banding together and going through the court system and public pressure. That's it. That's all.
He is, I mean, not that I've never been flabbergasted or like extremely frustrated or like amazed at like something else that's happening in a conversation I'm having. But when you ask to go on somebody's show and then you show up with no lights and you show up in a shitty fucking micro hotel, Motel 6, you know, with the bathroom light on the background, and then you tell them you got a hot out, and then you've been a dick the entire time. Like, you think you'd manage to keep like the hands in the face and like the extenuated friggin' like the extended reactions to a minimum, but obviously that's not something that he's capable of.
All we've seen in this administration. The other question is, how do you win elections? So go ahead and address that, and we can talk about the election piece. But real quick, before you get in, you know, as to the earnestness of this MAGA anti-war movement, put element number 3 up on the screen. Do you know? Tell me, how many Republicans have signed on to the War Powers Resolution? Is Marjorie Taylor Greene? No. Is Lauren Boebert there? No. 1. Thomas Massey, a libertarian who is, you know, ideologically consistent, kind of similar ideologically to Dave Smith. Every other person here is a Democrat. So to the earnestness of this anti-war MAGA coalition and their commitment to blocking war with Iran, here is where the rubber meets the road. You have one Republican who is already at odds with Trump, who is willing to put his name on this War Powers Resolution. That's it.
So, Crystal, look, I know you don't mean it, but you keep conflating two things. The Republican politicians, including Trump, and the Republican voters, or the people who voted for Trump, okay? So are the Republican politicians corrupt? Of course they're corrupt. Are they going to say, hey, Israel, I'll be your...
Well, then why would you just have Marjorie Taylor Greene on your show? If they're so corrupt, right, that it's so obvious and that you know this and they can't be dealt, why did you just have Marjorie Taylor Greene on to rehabilitate her image, to try to, you know, to try to make her more appealing to progressives or lefties? Why would that be a thing?
Or bitch, and I'll do whatever the hell you want me to do. Of course they are. They're completely owned by Israel, okay? So AIPAC, et cetera, the warmongers, by the way, let's be honest, is more than half the Democratic Party totally owned by AIPAC. Yes, right? So I know, oh my God, no, you can't be honest. You have to just say the other side is terrible and our side is angels. No, I'm not going to play that.
Would you rather be on the side of the 37 who signed on to the War Powers Resolution,
Crystal,
or the
I am on the side of the 37. Everything you frame is a straw man. I am on the side of the 37. In fact, Ro Khanna is my top ally. Bernie Sanders, Ro Khanna and I had the same exact strategy that you criticized in November when we talked.
True.
You literally put me, and Kyle did the same thing. You guys put me in the same bucket as Bernie and Ro, reaching out to see if we can find agreement on the right.
What else has Bernie done? What else has Bernie done that has been profoundly impactful? The anti-oligarch, the Fight Oligarch tour, which was an effort to bind together the left and the liberals to protest and to resist this administration. And
that's really laughable. That Cenk thinks that what he does for a living is fighting oligarchy, as I believe he took billionaire funding when he ran for president. We know that obviously the Jeffrey Katzenberg, the Polymarket Studios, the fact that he's like, it was once running to get money out of politics, but then when he ran for politics, decided to forego and throw that to the side and take billionaire funding. Right. So again, he's a big ball of fucking hypocrisy. If you go back and actually tear him apart and actually look at his history and the things that he's done with TYT and with his fucking presidential runs and you know, congressional runs and whatever the fuck.
Has been profoundly more impactful.
Having a conversation with a person who isn't here.
Did the Pentagon budget get cut? Just tell me that. What's the Pentagon budget? Did it get cut?
You've now asked me 28 questions.
Did Don Jr. Did he do whatever with the?
I love this. I love this pod because he's so frustrated because this is what he does when he gets like, when he knows he gets into a corner, like he tries to say that, oh my God, you've asked me 37 questions. I can't answer any of the questions because you asked me so many questions. When in reality, if you go back and listen to what she said, she may have asked 1 or 2 questions. But it's so funny because he gets so mad about the amount of questions that she asked. And then she goes on to ask like 3 or 4 more questions in rapid succession.
Generals, did that work out?
All right, guys, look, I came on here because look, you're generally fair. So you asked me 28 questions.
No, you came on there because TYT is a failing fucking network, and you see that people are actually watching Crystal and Kyle in Kyle's channel, The Secular Talk, and you feel like you need to feed off of that because you're losing the base in a very, very, very rapid way. And I think you think this is your best opportunity, your best chance to try to hold on to some of that. But in reality, in what's really going on is you're digging your hole even deeper. You're making it more apparent that people shouldn't be watching TYT. You're making it more apparent that the strategy you had with sucking up to MAGA and having a beer after a debate with MAGA is completely the wrong way to go, is completely inefficient, has completely backfired in your face, and you just can't admit it.
Questions, and then let me answer them. So, and stop framing it as if I'm a different person. You keep making all these assumptions about who are you on the Republican side or the
I'm
Democrat?
literally citing things that you said, Cenk. Like I played your clip of what you said.
Christ, man.
Turn to the camera.
Okay,
Hey,
I'm
tell me
right
if I'm
here,
wrong.
Crystal.
This
Crystal,
specifically,
I'm right here. I'm
Cenk,
right here. Can I talk for myself instead of you?
You
like,
specifically held on to the Pentagon budget.
At this point, borderline lying about me in every framing of every question. Can I
How am I
actually
lying?
a human being named
How am I
Jake
lying?
Cooper
Tell
actually
me
First of all, playing your words that you said on her show several months before, I don't see how that is even remotely considered to be lying or like a straw man, like he likes to say.
lying questions instead of you
Tell me
framing
how I'm lying,
as a
Cenk.
person that doesn't exist.
Cenk,
Okay.
I played the clip of you talking, so tell me how I'm lying.
Okay. All right. So now, of all your questions, you have this fantasy land that Trump was like, oh, the left thinks Abrego Garcia's, I've treated him wrong. I surrender, left. Are you, come on, what planet do you live on? No, the courts are not left or right. The courts have held. I'm thrilled that the courts have held. And it was so important for the courts to hold. So if they didn't hold on that, he was going to have unlimited authoritarian power. And we are against that, no matter how many times people try to pretend that we're on the side of Trump. Listen to what I am actually saying. And you will see this every day on the Young Turks. I am against Trump. Totally. Okay. Now, okay. Yes, but why do you love Trump will be the next question. Okay.
Did I ask that? Cenk,
Okay.
talk
So
about
now,
Now he's just debating himself. Right now he's just answering questions that weren't asked, but questions that he believes are going to be asked, so he's going to respond to anyway. That's how far gone in this he is. That's hilarious. She's like, did I ask that? I don't think I said that.
Oh man, I mean, you're making up stuff I never said. Come
What's the point
on.
of coming on here if I can't answer your
Jake,
questions?
I'm giving you plenty of time to answer, brother. You're making up
He is losing his shit, and it's so funny to see how calm, cool, and collected that she still is.
stuff about me. I didn't say that.
Okay,
So you want to
Jesus
talk about
Christ,
straw men?
Crystal.
You're
This is
inventing
it's a
things on the
mistake
spot.
from you guys. It's a mistake. So okay, now when you
See that? See how he said it's a mistake talking to you guys? But it's not a mistake talking to Charlie Kirk or Steve Bannon or any of those assholes or Marjorie Taylor Greene. It wasn't a mistake then. He didn't get frustrated or flustered. He didn't get angry. He didn't get emotional and, start flailing his arms and flapping his lips, right? He didn't do any of that. But he is doing that now when confronted by progressives or lefties or people on the left side of the aisle that are supposedly supposed to be in his camp, his colleagues for what he says TYT used to be. And this is how he acts. This is how he responds. We've heard him demean Sam Cedar and talk shit about Sam Cedar and Emma Vigeland. We see how he fired Francesca Fiorentini from the network. He just cannot handle people on the left criticizing him. He doesn't mind it when it comes from the right. He likes being, engaging and buddy, and again having a beer with the people on the right after a debate. But not anybody on the left. They're just wild and crazy, and they're so far out there, and they're on fucking planet Xenon, and God, they're not even worth talking to. That's what he thinks about progressives nowadays.
talking about the Pentagon cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that I thought, oh my God, Elon's such a good guy, and Trump's such a good guy, even though I've spoken out against them at every single turn. And then I magically thought, oh, I bet they become liberals overnight, progressives overnight. No, you put out the Pentagon thing so that they're stuck either way. That's why Bernie and Roe joined me, because either they cut the Pentagon, we go, yes, mission accomplished. We got a tiny, tiny amount accomplished during a Trump reign, which seemed impossible. Or they don't cut the Pentagon and they add to it. And then we all come out, as I did, and Bernie and Roe did, and go, see, we told you. They're hypocrites. The leader.
Wait, what? To come out and say, yes, I believe that they were going to listen to the base who in some fictional book was calling for the Pentagon budget to be cut, but you risked your neck on the fact that if the Pentagon budget wasn't cut, that the MAGA base was going to revolt. They didn't revolt. The budget was raised to $1 trillion, and you think you were right? Like, you think somehow that makes you right in this situation? Like, proves you, again.
Leaders of your party never intended to cut the Pentagon. MAGA, they were lying to you. Now,
Not just MAGA care, Jenk.
Right. And the point is that he was trying to make, and what he was basing his entire argument upon, is that if they did not cut the Pentagon budget, if they raised the Pentagon budget, or if they went to war, if they struck anywhere in Iran, that the MAGA base was going to revolt, that the MAGA base was going to be so up in arms and so fucking frustrated and so appalled that Donald Trump would then listen to the MAGA base and reverse course on whatever policy that we're talking about, right? That did not happen, thus proving your case and your argument completely fucking wrong, right? All right, but we'll hop off there. We'll stick a bookmark in it there, guys. Once again, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for sticking with me. I think we got it figured out. I think we got it back in action. I apologize about the internet incapabilities and the problems that we had earlier on in the stream. Sometimes there's just not much that you can do about it, unfortunately. Adam, thank you for all the help. Tiff, thank you for all the help. Rox, thank you so much. Mod sticking around. Lokera, George, Yvonne, Frank, Michael, Jim, you guys are fantastic. Thank you to everybody that contributed. Why don't we get into the contributions this evening? Again, they're probably going to be short and sweet because of the technical issues. Typically not something that is conducive to people wanting to donate to the channel, but we do our best here. So Josh starts it off with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it, buddy. Vapid Man throws in 5, says everybody has tech problems. You're all good, dude. I appreciate you and people like you that are understanding. Again, I tried Ethernet, no Ethernet, fucking this Wi-Fi, that Wi-Fi. I just don't think it was something that I can control tonight. So I appreciate you, Vapid Man. Thank you so much. Cenk Uyghur's in a hotel waiting for hookers. Oh, fucking Josh. You guys crack me up. I appreciate it. Thank you for the $10. Bicycle Mike, great news. I have a small spot. I just have a small spot biopsy. So I'm assuming that you got a biopsy and it's just a small spot, which is good news. The smaller, the better. The smaller, the better. So that's very good news, Mike. And I will definitely take a look at your email. I promise you. Nordez, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. Especially on a night like this, I think it's very helpful to the cause to keep that going. So thank you so much, JD, for the profanity bonus. As usual, you are amazing. And Just Julie to rule it out. Been here for 10 months. Let's go. So everybody congratulate Julie on her 10-month milestone. And she says, much love from a blue dot in Texas. Just Julie, thank you so much. Thank you to everybody that contributed tonight. Again, sorry about the internet troubles, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific for our Thursday show. Yes, another show during the week. We added Thursdays. Again, if you're just tuning in for the first time in a couple weeks, let me show this. This is the new schedule that we'll be putting out, coming out with new content, hopefully more and more as it goes on. But yes, our Sunday show remains. Tuesday show at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Wednesday show, which you're watching right now, remains to be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern and 5:30 Pacific. And then again, Thursday show at the same time as the Tuesday show, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to the mods. Thank you so much for your flexibility. Don't forget the July Zooms. Don't forget the Patreon Zoom tomorrow night for the VIPs. Make sure you get signed up there. Make sure you hit the Venmo up in the corner or the PayPal up in the corner. That would be fantastic. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. I'm going to let you go, and I will see you tomorrow. Make sure you hit the notification bell. That way, if you forget what time the shows are at, it'll notify you when I go live. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Make sure you get out there. Make sure you're getting loud, getting proud, get out of your seat, get into the street. Keep your head on a swivel, though. Stay safe out there. Until tomorrow, I will see you. Thank you so much. I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics, and I'm going to see if I can get out of here like a normal show would. Hopefully it works. So thank you. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you, mods.
I mean, they've been conserved since the time of lobsters, right? There weren't trees around when lobsters first manifested themselves on the planet.
Water coming here is dead.
Shifting production to Thailand and to Vietnam.
This week it was reported that an illegal and you just look at this, what's happening.
Tell the director to call the White House. Do your fucking job!
Taking him back to Nevada where he's wanted for banging horses.
I am the chosen one. We appreciate those camels. I haven't seen camels like that in a long time.
About this time.
It feels so lovely to be here tonight. What a beautiful life. Give yourselves a round of applause. You're so lovely. Everyone's so lovely.
I'm standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis.
Refer to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. For the rest of my life, I have the curse that I have little hands. Little hands.
Always calling me Little Marco. And I'll admit, the guy, he's taller than me, he's like 6'2", which is why I don't understand why his hands are the size of someone who's 5'2".
Hey, you got a little chubby going there.
I'm just dandy. I got a bowl of chocolate pudding in my underpants.
You'll have a group of Venezuelan killers, street gangs, occupying the town with MK-47s. I know that gun very well. I got to know it. Oh, there's a fly. Oh, I wonder where the fly came from. Eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people that live there.
The population in Thailand is 63 million people. It is twice the size of Wyoming. Its chief exports are textiles, footwear, and rice. Each year, approximately 13,000 people are killed in car accidents in Thailand.
Obama. No, get those lights off. Off. Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off.
Man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
White people are a mortal danger to you and your loved ones. Is there anything worse than white people? Is there anything worse than white people?
I am the chosen one.
Cacophony, a crescendo, a finale, a coup de grace.
Obama.
Call them dumps, big massive dumps. They call them dumps, big massive dumps.
I'm just dandy. I got a bowl of chocolate pudding in my underpants.
All I smell is your bullshit.
The big, fat, sloppy United States.